Hey guys, it's Max Convexity. Thanks for tuning back into the Daily Covered Caller. I appreciate it. All right, let's check out these Defiance funds to start off with. It's Triple QY. These guys are going for a profit of 1.3 million, and they realized 1.3 million. On an earnings per share basis, they're down 4 cents a share on the month, but that isn't bad considering where they've come from. They had a lot of losses right at the first of the month. The dividend estimate's at $1.31 in old shares or $3.92 in new shares. JPY was going for 580 or 548,000, and they realized it also. The options they sold expired worthless, so they made all the money they were going for. They're also up 4 cents a share on an earnings per share basis this month, which is impressive considering how the month started off. Now, on IWMY, I don't think we're going to be so lucky. Now, these guys were going for a profit of $1 million, and they got it, but they're still down 70 cents a share. That's the bad news. The good news is the dividend estimate's $1.34, so that's huge. The highest it's ever been is $1.41 for this one. All right, so now let's check out the heat map. I mean, everything was green today. The only thing that had a little bit of red was commodities, gold, silver, oil. We're getting ready to look at oil. We have a Defiance fund that trades this USO ETF. They traded pretty well too. Let's take a look at it. Other than that, it was all green, except the inverses. And that down there is also energy. So that's also a commodity. All right. All right, so here's the spreadsheet for USOI. It's not much to look at. None of them are really, but I wonder if I fix this. I don't know. Forget about the earnings per share. The dividend estimate is right at $1.40. On the earnings per share, I don't think I restarted it at the start of the month after they paid this last one. I'm sorry. So in any event, the dividend estimate of $1.40 is good. Right now, these guys have a 77 strike option that expires tomorrow. We can take a look at it. They sold it for $1.70. It's represented by this green box. 77 is the line where is right where the top line is. That's the break-even price. I'm sorry, that's the max profit. The break-even price is the bottom line. So they sold the option for $1.30. So we put the bottom line at where the strike is, 77 less $1.30. So that'd be 75. Or it's actually sold it for $1.70. So we put it at 75.30. And that's where the bottom line is. So as long as the market doesn't fall further than the bottom line by tomorrow, this trade will show a profit. And as long as it doesn't fall further than the top line, it'll have a max profit. All right, so that's good. So now let's check the new buffer report. Okay. YBTC had a heck of a day today, obviously, and so did ZIVB, bouncing back hard after last week. Great job. Pretty much everyone had a good day today. ULTY also outperformed its benchmark, as did IVVW, which is one I don't talk about very much. Covered call fund. All the funds really did good. Look at KQQQ. It outperformed its benchmark, as did XDTE. That's a great job, guys. And then the ones that didn't outperform their benchmark performed right in line. QYLD performed almost as much. QDTE and Triple QT almost got as much upside as the benchmark. If you wanted to look for a disappointing fund, you'd have to say JEPY. It got the least out of any of these other same types of funds, but still making 0.5%. If you could make 0.5% every day, you would make 60% a year or 67% a year or something. So we would take 0.5% a day. That would be awesome. Just make that much every day. That'd be fine. That'd be fine. We had some other ones, KLIP, the Chinese internet one that also kind of had a bad day. So did THTA. Did not catch a lot of upside today. Okay, so now we're going to go look at the special buffer report. I have a new buffer report for these short volatility funds, ZIVB, SVOL, and also THTA. Because whenever the market was going down last week and volatility blew up, they were the most prone to have a problem. So I started tracking them on a daily basis. And they're the first three funds. Well, the first fund to the left here is the benchmark. That's the S&P. But next comes SVOL, then comes ZIVB, then comes THTA. Well, anyway, you can see the orange is ZIVB, and you can see that red is SVOL, and they both get, and the green is THTA. They had really bad days last Wednesday, or I'm sorry, that's Thursday. There's Friday, and that's Saturday, and that's Monday right there. And really on Monday, they had a really bad day because ZIVB was down 15%. Now, then on the days when, here's when the bounce back happened. You can see this day, the S&P was up 1%. ZIVB was up 6%. SVOL was up 4%. The next day, everything went pretty sideways. But then the next day after that, which would be what, Wednesday? Yeah, it'd be last Wednesday. S&P was up 2.71%. There's ZIVB recovering right with it. THTA kind of lagging. Anyway, the last one over here is the average. And I thought it was interesting that out of all these funds, and there's some good funds in here, through a really bad 3 days and then a really good 3 days, the best performing fund was JEPY. I mean, I know this is just of the ones I tested. I also tested iSpy and XDTE. I also put the other daily option funds on there because everyone has the perception that the Defiance funds, the ones that have the daily options that pay 60%, that they have more blow up risk. So this is my buffer chart for the stocks with ETFs with most perceived blow up risk. So anyway, I may just keep doing this because it's an easy way just to kind of zone in on these, these short volatility funds, as well as these. Everybody loves XDTE. I like JEPY. No one else does, but everyone loves XDTE and iSpy. But they do the same thing as JEPY, so I don't know why everyone doesn't love JEPY too. They sell options in the same time frame. So JEPY just does a little better job at it. And I think maybe people are jealous or something. I don't know, but I think JEPY is a better fund than XDTE. I don't get where the XDTE love comes from. I get that they pay weekly, but they don't pay as much. And they also drop more when the market's down. Here, look, we can see it right here. XDTE dropped 3% when JEPY dropped 2%. That's a big difference. On this day, JEPY dropped 0.5%, XDTE dropped 1.7%. So now the other side to it is whenever the market's recovering, XDTE's up more too. So they're both good funds. They're both good funds. I just think that JEPY is better. It's one of the best funds in the market, really. I mean, it's I don't know what more people want. Look at this. We'll compare JEPY to JEPI, which everybody loves so much, me included. It's a great fund. And look at that. Let's make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, so look at this one over here. JEPI started at 55, ended at 55. So yeah, no NAV decay. This one started at 60, ended at 49. Tons of NAV decay, right? So you don't want JEPY, right? Nope, wrong. JEPY has more total return. Pretty good little amount more. And get this, JEPY doesn't lose as much during the bad times. JEPY is safer on the downside than JEPI. Okay. And makes more on the upside, or it is over this last market cycle. Let's just say that. Anyway, they're both good funds though. All right. So that's my announcement for JEPY. So let's see what else we can get in the middle of. All right. I got this question. Max, do you know if QQQ Invesco ETF issues K1 or 1099? Okay. I had a question about that. If they're asking if triple Qs issue a K1, no, I don't think so. But then I started thinking about it. Do they mean if triple Q inverse? I mean, I wonder if they were trying to put inverse in a corrected to Invesco. But usually K1s are associated with commodity and partnerships and different types of accounting, and that usually index funds like triple Q are not associated with. So I would say no if you meant triple Q. But if they meant the inverse triple Q, which aren't even out yet, but if that's what they meant, yes, that one may have a K1. I don't know. We'll when it comes out, we'll find out. I'll do a review on it. Okay, now I wanted to talk about this one. So this person, I appreciate these comments, but this person said, IWMY dividend estimate $1.86 in the old shares. Am I hallucinating? Last month we received 88 cents. Now we're talking $1.86 before the split and 5.57 afterwards. I know it's still early and it's only an estimate, but I'm even toying with such a number tells me the fleet of Mexico. Okay, so get this. Let me show you this. The reason I'm pretty sure it's going to be double this time and is because the volatility is double, but I can prove it another way too. Let's remember I was telling you that Roundhill uses the same strategy. They use the daily options. So the XDT uses the same strategy. Well, they pay weekly. So let's take a look at their dividends, their dividend history, their recent dividend history. Look, they paid 26, 21, 23, 20, 24, 35, 41. They basically went from the low 20s to the low 40s. They've doubled. They're selling the same types of options. We just don't know it yet because because this month's distributions haven't hit, but we're going to get a humongous distribution in Defiance this month. And this is just a good proxy to look at. We can look at Roundhill because they pay weekly, so they're paying before that, we get ours. Anyway, it's going to be a monster month, guys. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys for being here today, and I'll be back later with more. All right. You guys have a great day.